All right, hi everybody. It's Derek Vandenberg here, Technical Manager of Tournaments and Provincial Programs. I'm with my colleague David Roselatos on the computer. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can just write it in the little comment box below and he can bring it up to me. So basically what we're doing here is we're just going to do a really quick recap of the indoor season and then just answer a few questions about the outdoor season. In terms of the indoor season, a few things. Looking at the juniors, the results at nationals were great. We had a lot of top 10 finishes. All our athletes competed super well. We had a lot of athletes competing in nationals, so just even the depth speaks highly a little bit. And I think in U14 we had 11 athletes competing, which was great. Kudos to all the junior athletes out there. We've got senior nationals coming up at the Glencoe and the Calgary Winter Club. I was just in a meeting about it today. Sounds like a great event. Honestly, just the giveaways you're getting, everyone gets a nice backpack and a water bottle and a $90 dinner or something, so it kind of makes up for the entry fee right there. The deadline to register for that is April 22nd, so if you haven't registered for senior nationals, I would get on that right away. It sounds like it's going to be great. And just going back to the indoor season really quick, looking through all the numbers, one of the biggest things that stood out for me was maybe not even how we did in nationals, but the number of juniors we had competing in tournaments overall. We had a few more tournaments this indoor season than we did the previous indoor season, but just looking at the numbers in each event, it looks like we're gaining more and more players. And again, for a province like Alberta, the depth is very important, so having lots of players competing just adds to the competitiveness of the province. So that's just a really great thing to see, is that all the numbers are up, the U10 numbers are up, the U9 numbers are up. Everything was just looking really, really good. So I'm looking forward to the outdoor season, and we're just going to answer a few questions that were sent in through emails, and if anyone has a question while we're doing this, again, just write it in the comment section and we can get to it live. Okay, so the first question, or a question that I got a few times, is are there any new tournaments for the outdoor season? The answer is yes. So it's going to be very similar to the outdoor season in terms of juniors and the setup. We have the competition tour, the qualifying series, the selection series, and provincials, obviously. We're going to be running the Alberta Outdoor Junior Open. It's looking to be a great event. It's ranked as a 4-star tournament, which means you get the same amount of points as you would from a selection, so a lot of points there. It's in Medicine Hat, which is off the beaten path a little bit. But personally, I think one of the best things about tennis is that you do get to travel a lot. I love the idea of just being able to move around and play tournaments in venues you haven't played before. Somebody is going to be the first person to win a tournament in Medicine Hat, and who knows how long, and they can kind of hold on to that for a little bit. And you see that a little bit on the Pro Tour as well. Certain players, they just play better in certain venues. Someone like Robin Haase, I think he's only won like 3 titles in his life, but they were all in Kitzbühel, and just stuff like that speaks to me, and that's why we were trying to spread the tournaments out a little more, going to Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, just kind of looking at those areas for some events. Leduc as well. Leduc's just starting up a tennis club. They have the U18 selections coming up very, very quickly, and so I'm really looking forward to that. So the Alberta Junior Open, again, we're going to try and make it as good as we can. They've got 7 nice courts down in Medicine Hat. Each player can play 2 events. We'll do singles and doubles, and it's worth a lot of points, so let's get down to that one. The Yonex Cup is going to be coming back for its 2nd year. Again, a little bit of lower level tournament, 3 stars. So if you're top 16, you cannot play in your age category. You'll have to play up. But really nice trophy. I guess that's all I can say about that one. Great sponsors with Yonex. We did the racket giveaway this year. We're bringing back U10 provincials, which was a huge hit in the indoor season. I don't know, the biggest thing to me was just the trophies those kids got to keep after that, and the sportsmanship awards. Everyone got to play 5 or 6 matches each, 2-day event. That one's going to be in Red Deer. It's going to be at the same time as U16 and U18 provincials, which is July 7th. I think it'll be on the 7th and 8th, or maybe the 6th and 7th, whatever the Saturday, Sunday is. So that's a new one as well. For the adults, same thing. We're bringing back the Red Deer tournament that everyone loves so much. It's going to be June 20 to 23rd in Red Deer. I know it's not the long weekend like it used to be, but it's still there, and the Red Deer Lodge is still there, and so we're hoping to make that one just as special as it used to be. At a little bit of a higher level, we added the Women's Open at the Capilano Tennis Club. It's coming up in just about a month on the long weekend. $6,500 prize money, really, really good prize money, honestly. Winners taking $1,800 in singles, winning doubles team takes $1,000, and you get like $225 just for making it to the quarters. So we're just trying to make that event as good as possible. There's a free kids clinic as well. Alberta Open obviously is going to be just at the end of July. For senior players, we used to just have the senior provincials in St. Albert, but we've added a few extra events. We now have a seniors tournament in Capilano, and we got another one in Garneau, so a couple extra events in there. And then the wheelchair tennis is growing a little bit too. We held one of the first wheelchair events last year at the Alberta Open, and that one's now spread into 4 tournaments, unfortunately all in Edmonton. They're just kind of piggybacking off a few other tournaments, so the Centennial, Hackers, and Rob Bell are also all gonna feature a wheelchair component. So yeah, a few new tournaments out there. Next question here. So I've had a few questions about the rain policy as it corresponds to junior tournaments mostly. It's a bit of a tricky question to answer. Obviously, especially for our selection events, we want our outdoor selections to be contested on outdoor courts. The idea that it's rained for 4 or 5 minutes, the courts have gotten wet, so let's go inside and we'll finish the event inside. It's a little bit of a logical fallacy when we're trying to pick the best kids to represent Alberta at outdoor nationals. We have to make sure we're playing outdoors, and you could look at it at national, international level. As soon as it rains, the policy is not let's run indoors right away. The policy is we'll stop, we'll wait for the rain to stop, we'll dry the courts, and then we'll get playing. If we have to stop for the whole day, we will. We'll come back the next day. If we have to stop for a day and a half, okay, same thing. We might have to cancel the consolation or do something like that. But the policy is not to go inside. It's I understand both sides of the argument, but again, with our higher level events, when we're looking for the athletes that are going to represent Alberta, we want to make sure they're actually competing in the right environment. We don't want to send our best indoor players to outdoor nationals. So with that one, the only thing is though, like we know it's going to rain for 3 straight days. There might be some backup put in place because those situations are a little unavoidable, especially as we're getting to the tail end of the season, looking at provincials and stuff like that. So there may be, but honestly, we're going to try to play as much as we can outdoors, and only if there's no other situation will we go indoors. So that's kind of the policy for rain on that. With adults, it's a little more lenient because they're not competing for as much. Like especially the 304, 50, the Open is the same thing. We want them to play outdoors because it's an outdoor tournament. But with the 304, 50, I get it. They've booked this weekend off to play the tournament. They're probably not booking a lot of other weekends off. So if it can't finish that weekend, it is a huge hindrance to them. So we have a little more leniency for that type of situation. So that's kind of the rain policy that we're going to be following. I know it's not very black and white there. There's a lot of ifs and buts, but that's how it's going to work. So I get a lot of questions about just getting into tennis in the outdoor season. I think a really good resource is using whichever city you live in. There are public courts that can be booked. The city of Edmonton, the city of Calgary, I've used both of them myself. I'm sure the city of Red Deer has it as well. And I know just looking around, a lot of the other smaller cities do too, so I try to use those resources. And honestly, I've spoken with a lot of the people who are in charge of that, and they can connect you, especially if you don't have anyone to play with, to other people who are also booking tennis courts. I think that's a great way to get to know the community, or just go down to the tennis courts if you don't have anyone to play with. There's also Facebook groups, meetup groups we have up here in Edmonton. I'm not sure if they have down there in Calgary as well. I know the meetup one here is huge. Hundreds and hundreds of people connect that way, and it's a great, it's just great. You get to meet a lot of new people, and they're all forming friendships, and they play throughout the indoor season, so I think that was a really great thing that happened up here. I think it's a really good way to get into it. I think signing up for tournaments as well, you get to meet a lot of people at a tournament. If you're a social person, you sign up for whatever your level is, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, go to the tournament, make some friends that way. And then I think just trying to get involved with the club as well. clubs are a little more, like tournaments, they're very competitive. Clubs are a little more social. So if you don't have a club, try getting in somewhere, whatever your local community club is. That's the best way to meet people. Just because there are a lot of people in this situation, and that's kind of the route I would always direct them. Whichever club you live closest to, go there, meet people that way. Just write your name on a board or something. Most clubs have like a hit list of people just looking to hit who don't have anyone else to hit with, so that's a really good option as well. What else here? I got a lot of questions about the surfaces as well. So the U12 and U14 tournaments are being played on clay, and the reason for that is that their nationals is played on clay, whereas the U16 and U18 tournaments, the nationals are on hard court, and so we play the selections on hard court as well. That's basically the logic there. I'm not trying to give anything to one party or take anything away, but again, if I'm picking my best athletes to go perform on clay at nationals, I want to see who's able to best perform on clay, and the same logic applies for hard courts, of course. What else here? Regarding provincials, outdoor provincials for juniors, the way it looks on the schedule is a little funny, so it does look like it's going to be 1 week for every event in 2 different locations, but it's just going to play the same way it did last year, where the U14 and U18 take the first 4 days of the week, which I believe is the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then the next 4 days of the week are going to be the U12 and U16, so the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, and the first day of each of those would act as the qualifying. So the 12s and 14s don't overlap. The 12s and 16s overlap, and the 14s and 18s overlap, but none of the other ones overlap. The week is split firmly in half, and you can play in 2 age categories very easily, unless you're trying to do 12s and 16s or something like that. Yeah. I think that's, just about it for the questions. Do we have anything? Yeah, so that's most of the questions on my end. Again, I think the best thing to do if you haven't played tennis is just try to get out there, meet some people by signing up for a club or signing up for a league or signing up for a tournament. It's a very easy way. For juniors, again, oh, sorry, there was one other thing. It wasn't actually a question, it was just kind of a comment that was made to me. It's just in regards to U9 and U10 tournaments. I do hear a lot that a lot of the tournaments are down in Calgary, and it's a lot of travel for the parents. The one thing I'd recommend, especially at U9 or U10 age, is that you do not need to commit that much time to traveling. If we, again, go back to the LGAD and look at that age category, those kids should only be playing 7 to 12 tournaments per year. So if we split that into 2 seasons, that's something like 3 to 6 tournaments a season. I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, but I believe obviously Edmonton has less tournaments than Calgary, and that's again strictly due to the number of indoor clubs I have available. I'm pretty sure there were at least 3 or 4 U9 and U10 tournaments in Edmonton, so the travel wasn't maybe necessary. That's just off the top of my head. I believe we had those type of numbers, and then Red Deer also had a couple. So that would be my biggest recommendation if you do have a young kid playing in tennis, not to try to travel too much when you're young. The opportunities are there in your city, even if it doesn't look like it. Again, 7 to 12 tournaments a year, that's something like 1 tournament every 2 months to 1 tournament every month. It's not as much as you think. Again, it's more about development at that age. Try not to play too many events. So yeah, that's my biggest recommendation, is that if you're kind of in the U8, U9, U10, try not to travel too much. You're going to get a lot of that later as they get older. And just save yourself the hardship now. So again, if anyone has any questions, I try to be as good at answering. Can we get trophies for tournament winners for all categories? Okay, yeah, good question, Carlitos. The trophies is really up to the club. So it's the way it works is that the club that is hosting the tournament gets to decide what they do with their money. So when Tennis Alberta runs events, we use the money they get to purchase trophies, and it does all kind of come down to the club. There are some deals in place where we provide the trophies for selections because they're necessary events for us. But otherwise, the club is responsible for getting the trophies. And personally, I always felt that was one of my favorite things about running tournaments is I got to pick out the trophies. So like for those of you who participated in the Yonex Cup last year, again, I kind of took that one on myself. I knew the best thing I wanted to do with that one is I wanted to get the biggest trophy possible. So I got like a 4-foot tall cup that some of you may have seen. And I knew that was going to attract people because kids love playing for trophies and they love taking your pictures with trophies. And yeah, so again, that does fall a little bit on the club. So for any clubs that are watching this, your players want trophies. Any other questions there, David? Yeah, so again, if you have any questions, you can just shoot me an email or a text or a phone call or whatever. Yeah, and we can do another one of these maybe halfway through the season. Again, I think it's been going really, really good. Participation's been up in a lot of the junior events, which I love to see. New wheelchair, new senior tournaments coming this year. We got Red Deer Provincials back for the adults, which I've only heard good things about. Yeah, so really looking forward to the outdoor season, and yeah, I'll see you all later. Bye.